Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, today I am joined by the Professor, Saph. How you doing, man?
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm doing the rounds. The professor is doing the rounds, and I can confirm I'm not ChatGPT. Comments in everyone's videos. I am not the AI next evolution, although that would be quite cool.
I mean, Saph, look, obviously, look, you're into the detail of this game. Your channel's pretty much focused on, breaking down the science, breaking down the mathematical side of the game, trying to help people understand the game better, but from like a real min-max perspective, right?
Yeah, exactly. Trying to translate the complexities of the game code and the way things are working. And when people come to me and go, I don't know what's happening, please help. That's kind of what we try to do on that channel there.
And for those who don't know, Saph works with us at HH Gaming. He develops a lot of the tools, certainly the front end side of the tools that we use on a daily basis. Things like the optimizer, he has a hand in doing that. So actually incredibly valuable to have on the team. So we're going to get in today to talk about Artak. Now, Artak, Saph's found, is kind of a bit buggy right now. I did a video yesterday. I'm concerned about my video yesterday. So we want to talk through the detail of it and just make sure that, at the end of this champion is still going to be pretty cool. Just before we get into that, Saph, I've just seen this pop on the screen. We've got an anniversary Bannerlord tournament, and it looks like we can get some juicy rewards, can we? Or can we? I'm hitting details. I thought something was going to pop.
Is that actually a tournament they're doing in the game, or is it on? I haven't read the text on that.
It says here, they're celebrating their 14th anniversary. Some of the phases will be in-game activities. Your efforts will be rewarded. To start, hit the details button below. Okay, so it takes us to this anniversary Bannerlord tournament here. For some reason, my link wasn't working, but I've got the link anyway. I'll post this down below. So you can go into vote for your greatest night in Teleria. It's one of the activities they're doing around the Plarian birthday. Vote for your favorite night and get a personal promo code. I've got to select one of the 4. Oh, this is tough. Have you already done this, Saph?
Yeah, I did. I personally, so Sigmund for me is in a bit of a rough spot because it was with the Demitha fusion, right? So
yeah,
Demitha was the legendary, so I went Cillian.
Yeah, I don't have Sigmund. I'm going to go with Sigmund just because I wish I had him for the last Hydra comp that we did. He's actually better than... Although, I can't click him. What's going on with this site? Is it me? Oh, no, okay, that's it. That was it.
You can. Yeah.
This one, this is actually quite tough as well. Baron is just insanely good. But Stolter's actually a brilliant defensive nuker.
I had to go Baron because I got a 5-star. I mean, it's
with you. Yeah.
He's just too strong.
Lugan or Helior. It's an easy Lugan for me, but pretty much both quite low tier, I think.
I went visual on that one. Helior looks way better because of the shield.
Is very cool. Yeah, this guy looks like he's been dragged through the mud.
He looks like Colin's long lost brother, right?
Yeah. And then Septimus or Black Knight. I mean, Septimus just because the amount of fun he gave me when I got him, but nowadays, buff Septimus raid.
Black Knight's pretty good as a provoker. I was using him in Hydra the other day, trying to brute force the Trender team after watching Scratch, and he was provoking like nobody's business. Like 75% on an A1 is nuts, really.
Yeah.
Really good.
Do you not feel like if Septimus had a change that he could override some of the passives of the bosses, do you feel like that's fair?
I think all Septimus needs is his passive to be 100%. When he gets
100%,
something like it's more than 30%. I feel like he's basically got the same passive as Bulwark, which is a bit depressing that a rare void has the same passive as a legendary.
Yeah, but do you not feel like the increased damage over the increased damage if you've got high current health for the enemy? Sorry, if the enemy's got higher than 50% health, he gets increased damage 30%.
Yeah,
I feel like he should be able to go 30% over the normal enemy max HP number.
Yeah, that could be quite cool.
Because then it's still keeping within his kind of normal kits, but at least you'll gain more value from him than an Armiger, for example.
Yeah, it's quite tricky to do that, but it should be fine. I'm thinking how would you code it?
You're thinking about the code. I'm thinking about
because the way that the bosses work, it literally just goes, no matter what you hit me, you can't hit me more than 10%. So there's not really any consideration, but it would have to be a bit of a... Actually, a lot of people have called for Septimus buff. I actually think he's not far away. I just feel like he needs more than 30% on that debuff extension, like something like a 75%. And he needs then, as you said, maybe you can do deals 5% more maximum HP, or maybe you've got some sort of quirk you can do that allows him to because he's single target, so that's a punishment, right? So
yeah. Right, so you have to put your number in. I need to put my actual name from in-game in.
yeah, it's your actual in-game name, not your player and username. It's very that one's very, like, they put a little message to say where you get your but they never told you what username to use.
Then we get a promo code, which I can copy and quickly put it in before anyone steals it from this video. Promo codes.
And yeah, you can't reuse it, I don't think. So you can't steal other people's promo codes.
Right. But that, I don't know, is this just player in play? We're not sure, are we? I'm not sure if it's just player in play, but some multi-battles, a chicken, some energy, and an epic book. It's actually pretty good.
It's yeah, I mean, basically, if we're doing nothing, we'll take that.
We'll take that. Nice. I'll do that on the free-to-play again later. So anyway, look, let's get back to topic here, because I know some people are going to be... Oh, in fact, I've seen a ton of comments. Yeah, I've seen a ton of comments on my videos from yesterday. I saw your video you put out yesterday, and I was having tons of fun with Artak soloing stuff. Yeah, he was soloing Dragon, Minotaur, Ice Golem. He was doing crazy stuff on Doom Tower Waves. And basically, you then found out that Artak is a bit bugged. And I guess what I wanted to get from this video is, if they fix that bug, what does it mean? And also, if they fix that bug, is he still going to be a cool champion? Because right now, he's actually a breath of fresh air. I've really been enjoying using him so far.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I guess give us a lowdown. What's going on first? What's actually happening that is kind of considered a bug?
Yeah, so it was actually the funny thing is it was a member of the community in our Discord that actually spotted this. He was like, "There's something weird going on here. Why is he overlapping Arbiter?" Now, the way that I understand his passive to work is every time I lose 1%, I gain 2 speed. So at most, 50 times 2, 100 speed. That's my understanding.
Yeah.
Which is already, when we were looking at it, like when we were doing videos before we even got a playtest, we're like, he's going to get 100 speed and 100 resistance for basically free.
Just using this kit. Yeah, it's amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy good. But what's actually happening is the damage component and the defense component is working as we expect. You basically get, for every 1% you lose of max HP, you get 1% of the corresponding bonus. 1% damage, 1% crit damage, 1% defense. That is multiplicative on your current stat in the battle. So if you put an increased defense stat on your champion, he's going to get like the defense after you've calculated that increased defense. That's how much you would gain.
So if let's say he's got a base 2,000 defense, you then give him increased defense, so he goes to 3,000.
Then
he would then get his passive stacking on top of the 3,000.
Correct. So you should get 1,500, not 1,000. So that's good, right? It's in the battle. It does make it complicated.
That's working fine.
Yes, that's working fine. It makes it complicated because you lose the increased defense, you don't get as much. There's lots of different things. But putting that aside, those 3 elements are working. But what's happening with the speed and resistance, instead of giving you a flat figure, it's multiplying it. So just like it's multiplying your defense after you apply a defense buff, it's multiplying your speed after you apply a speed buff, after you apply an aura, after you apply masteries. So in your video, you're essentially going somewhere in the region of like 250 speed, but you're also getting 18 speed from Whirlwind of Death because you're killing 3 foes on the waves.
Yeah,
you're also getting 24. Yeah, so you're getting basically 18 and 24. The typical what we would call a solo build, where you get 24 from allies. So you're running at somewhere like 298 speed normally, which is pretty fast. But because you then have like a 23% aura in there, that goes to 321. And what you should get at max, if you were at sort of 100%,
so
is
if
only
he got
100.
himself down to the 50% max HP level, which would be the maximum he could lose, and we would think that would be 100 extra speed.
Yes. You should be at 421 speed.
Yeah.
But what you're actually ending up doing, because of the way that the bug is happening, you're at 642 speed. Because it's doubling your 321, it's not adding 100 to it. So in essence, you're going significantly faster than probably what is intended.
It's taking the same calculation it's using for the defense stuff and applying it to speed rather than getting a different one for speed.
Yeah, it's basically they've taken the formula and they've times it by 2, and it probably shouldn't be times 2. Or if they've done it like that, what they should have probably done is put a value cap on it to basically say that it can be times by 2, but it can't go any higher than 100. That's not technically a solution, but it would be a quick fix. But what it basically means is, instead of you taking somewhere in the region of sort of 4 turns to get to 4 ticks or 4 increases of your turn meter bar, for a better word, to get to a turn, you're doing one less, which means in your situation here, you probably would still be going something like 4-1 when you're at 50% loss on your clan boss, on your dragon runs, if you're at 50% HP. But when we've looked at your videos and you've kind of played the game, you realize that actually, because it's a single target boss on his own, he can't really destroy enough HP.
Yeah, like, I mean, look now on Minotaur, I'm on like not even 25%. So I'm more like this run particularly here, I'm on about 20%, not 20, not 50.
So if we were to look at it from a 25% angle rather than a sort of 50% angle, then we can kind of go, okay, well, you should get a plus 50 speed at 25%, but you're actually getting a lot more, because you're getting, instead of it being 371 speed with those allies dead, obviously in Minotaur you didn't have dead allies, but in a dragon setting, you would be, in that team there that you're running, would be around 371. If it was working as it should, you're actually getting 482. So it means you're getting an extra turn.
100 speed on top of what it should be.
It's about 110 speed.
Yeah.
Which means that 110 speed is allowing you to take one extra turn between every time you've attacked the boss. Because I think you were saying it was basically going around about 4-1.
It felt like I was getting about 4 attacks for the boss's 1 attack, yeah. Whereas I should be getting, you're probably saying, closer to 3, not 4.
Yes.
But
about
still,
3.
actually,
5.
I mean, I wonder, so the big concern from the community, and this is the reason why I got you on, is like, is this guy still going to be anything like we're seeing?
Yeah.
And obviously, we're seeing someone who, for a free champion, is basically god tier, right? He's up there as one of the best legendaries, not void, one of the best legendaries in the game at the moment. Do you think?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So
for PvE, at least.
I think it's safe to tell everyone that it's not going to make him a useless champion. Even if they fix it, even if it goes exactly how it's meant to work, all you might have to do is you might need to make him tankier. Or you might need to put him in like this team you've got here. He might need to run in a stun set just to help take a few of the attacks away on the wave. When he gets to the boss, because he's got decreased attack, like no bosses will kill him even at 50% HP. Because he's gaining 50%
that defense tankiness as well, isn't he?
It's a hell of a lot. Even if you run him at 3,000 defense, he's going to be near 5,000 defense. Because just the way that passive is working. And you're also getting 300 resistance. So you can resist a lot of the decreased defense on the waves. Like if you might just have to make his build a little bit less, throw anything on him and off he goes.
Yeah.
But he's still going to be able to solo content. It just might be he takes an extra 20 seconds or an extra 10 seconds.
Sure.
That's what I think will happen potentially. Obviously, we don't know. I haven't done any content or testing on him because I'm in the same boat as you are. That video that I do, is it just going to instantly be invalidated because the times? I don't think it's about success rate. I think it's about times. How quickly is he going to do something?
Yeah, because equally, like I've built him with toxic gear here. I've got him with War Master. Like I built him to do more damage than a lot of solo builds would do. A lot of solo builds, you actually like normally you'd be running regen set. Normally you'd be running the mastery, which gives you more turn meter. So
it doesn't really heal a lot either.
Change.
That's the other thing with him. So I actually think that one of his best builds, if you're doing this type of setup, is you run him in stun set with the Harvest Despair Mastery, so that you get your leech, so you can heal. Because his A3, even though it has a heal component, requires him to resist the burn. It's kind of awkward to really make happen. So you'll find he doesn't really heal a lot. So if you're not running him in regen, which I don't think you need to run him in regen because HP-based champions are naturally tanky, I think a stun set with Harvest Despair is for this type of team where you're running a solo style setup, will just help you deal with like the cleansing, will help you get rid of it. It doesn't help you on the boss, but the boss is not normally the issue. The waves are normally the issue.
Funny enough, when I first ran this, the boss, the reason why I went into Toxic is because I wasn't always getting through the Scorch, and the Scorch was the only thing that could kill me. Obviously, that was before, like you say, we might just have to tweak the builds. It might be that he needs to be either tankier to deal with the Scorch, or we need to kind of consider other mechanics. But the Toxic gear,
it's a lot.
It's just so much extra damage for the Scorch, like it's crazy.
Which it could be if you go to stun set, then you can't kill the boss, which is absolutely possible.
So that's definitely something we need to consider. But I mean, ultimately, what you're saying is, it feels like they're bound to pick up on the bug. They're bound to fix it because you'd be crazy not to.
I even
But we
think
still think he'd be crazy. Like, still think he'd
I
be
think they knew
absolutely
about
bonkers.
it because when I posted the report to the Raid official devs, I had a message back of one of the mods to say we've reported this. So I don't. It kind of felt like to me that maybe someone had already mentioned it to them and they kind of knew about it in the backgrounds. Obviously, it was late night testing, so they're probably not going to fix it immediately. So I'd
Yeah.
imagine they're probably, even if I didn't come up with this in a week's time, they'd know about it and it would get bug fixed. So there's no real position where we can go, let's not tell them, they'll never know about it.
No, that's it.
They'll
It's a
know, it's
silly.
so
Yeah,
obvious.
for sure, for sure.
You know, especially when Kraken start getting their hand on it and they start putting like 400 speed. That's where it becomes a problem for me. When you start putting high numbers on him, because it's multiplicative, the more stat you give him, the more crazy it becomes. So like a 400 resistance Artak can get all the way up to 1,100 resistance.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like actually, yeah,
it's not
it's
really
ridiculous.
fair to basically give a non-void legendary free 500 resistance without any stat investment on top of free 50% increased defense on top of another 400 speed or 500
Yeah,
speed as well. Like you're giving him almost an entire kit's worth of stats for free. It's just not balanced on a high level. Now, obviously, a lot of people will say, well, free to play communities are not running those kind of builds, so it doesn't affect them. True, but I think just generally it's a bit of a game breaking passive, right?
yeah.
It
Look,
doesn't
I mean,
work.
ultimately, it's bugged. It's not like, oh, well, let's nerf the champion. It's
Yeah.
bugged. He's not come out and he's not working as intended. But I think still, when working as intended, he's going to be a top tier legendary. Like,
I think he's top 5 burner.
Yeah,
Easily comfortably the top 5, one of the top 5 burners in the entire game. He's up there. Like if you think in terms of AoE activators, you have Sissio and Theodore. That
yeah,
is it. You have random activators like Chronum and Supreme Gaelic, but someone who consistently 100% AoE activates HP burn, there's 2 champions. So that immediately makes him a top 3 spider champion. Immediately makes him a top 5 option for Hydra. So even
Hydra,
if
yeah,
your end game, this is why I kind of said this on Ash's video a little bit, that he's the best login champion because everyone at any state of progression has some form of use for him.
for sure. Yeah,
Whereas I felt like, you think of the recent fusion like Jetney, endgame players are like, cool.
yeah,
Not much we
exactly
could do
right.
with it.
Yeah, yeah. And even like I've got 2 accounts, free to play and an end game account, and I've got options to do a similar thing on both accounts
Yeah.
already. Do you want to put a load of resources into it? That's whereas this guy is a freebie, and he is, I got Theodore. I couldn't wait to get Theodore on my account. Picked him up. This guy is as game changing as a Theodore, I would argue. Like for the average
I'd say
account.
he's a great game changer for the week for the earlier your account is, because you get 100% AoE decrease attack on a 3-turn cooldown.
Yeah.
Like that is entry level for clan boss. I know I've seen some people say you can't tune in for clan boss. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to do it.
Yeah. Tough.
It might
Tough
just take
to do.
it might
We've
just take
spoken
some
about
bit
it.
of
It's tough
quirks.
to do, but
Yeah. But the thing that a lot of people, even if you're not speed tuning, just having someone who can give you, if you don't get that coffin smasher out, you're kind of going, where am I going to get my decreased attack from? And that's like one of the earliest things you need. If you're struggling to get through waves or kill bosses, that A2 ability is like huge.
Yeah.
It's
And you pair it with this kind of like with the A3 as well for just kind of general waves and stuff. Like I was showing him in high level Doom Tower yesterday, and this ability here, putting out burns on high level opponents, you just get consistent quality of damage. Whereas, if you don't have really good gear on a damage dealer, a nuker, then you really only tickle high level opponents, when it comes to like hard Doom Tower and stuff. So
it's scalable as well if you think about it, because it doesn't matter if an enemy has 100,000 HP, 200,000 HP, 500,000 HP, or 10 HP. It's going to do the same consistent level of damage because it's based on max HP. So the harder the wave, it's still the same amount of effort to kill that wave. The only thing that did pop into my head today, and was based on someone that mentioned in my Discord, if you can actually break his max HP below 50% HP, which some elements in the game can. We're thinking of like Harvest Despair Blessing can break you down to 30%, like to 40%.
yeah.
That passive will still keep stacking.
Oh, will it? Oh, do you know? I don't know if you've had a chance to even see this yet, but Hydra can reduce your max HP by 25. I think it's 25.
Mm-hmm.
Will his passive be 25 plus 50, or will it just cap at 50?
The decay head can't destroy HP beyond 25%.
So it'll just come
irrespective of any champion's abilities or kits. So it
but
kind of goes.
Interestingly, in Hydra, like he's almost guaranteed in most occasions to get to the 25%.
Yeah,
and hold it, isn't it? Like, or
the decay head being up in a rotation is great, right? If you think about it, because the biggest challenge you have with his passive is how quickly can I scale it? How quickly? It's the ninja problem. How quickly can I get my huge amounts of stats into his build so he can start doing big damage? Whereas someone like Skrank is like, oh, you've burnt. Okay, I've got like 25% now. I'm happy. Let's go. But with Artak, it's like you need 10 activations to get to his 50%, which is not as easy as it sounds. So if you have the decay head and you just basically chunk a bunch of healing on him, like do a massive Ugo heal, well, you're basically just giving him speed. So it's beneficial. But if you do have a situation where you can exceed his 50% destroyed max HP, these stats don't have a cap. He can't destroy his own, but if you
seems unlikely. It's an unlikely situation, but it's possible.
It's places like Sand Devil. The further you lose more HP, then he's just going to keep gaining more defense and more defense and more defense. So it makes it where the Godseeker Iniri needs to go for more defense so that she doesn't lose as much max HP so that she can still heal from regen. You might find if you're using Artak in Sand Devil, kind of want to go more HP than defense because he's going to get so much defense from his passive that actually you just want to try and mitigate the loss of HP because he's going to destroy his own. This is kind of like a quirk with it. But yeah, if you destroy beyond that, he's just going to keep getting more stats. So he could go, if he goes as low as 30% in Sand Devil, well, you'll get 70% more defense, which is interesting. I don't know if that was like maybe an oversight.
That could be, because that in essence would be a bug as well, right?
Not
that's
really.
Not what it's meant to do. Like,
no, because it doesn't really say it caps.
I suppose not,
that.
Actually. Yeah, I suppose not. It is for each percentage.
Yeah, it's not like that's not a bug in my opinion. If they changed that, I could understand why they changed it, because maybe they didn't intend for it not to
actually,
do that.
These are two separate things. This is he can stack himself up to 50%, and this is what he gets for destroyed max HP. Yeah, and that can go beyond 50% actually. Yeah, so it's fine.
It's two separate elements essentially. He can't ever destroy his own max HP, and maybe they intended it not to go beyond that 50% potentially. So they might come in and when they fix the passives, they might just put the cap on there as well because they realize what they did. It's not going to really make the difference because, as you said, like outside of Life Harvest and maybe Sand Devil, I can't imagine many places where you can actually decay it beyond 50%.
Yeah.
You know, maybe.
Okay, man. Well, I think we've talked it round. Guys, go and check out Saph's channel at HH Gaming. It's growing massively. He's got content going out regularly, and he really likes getting into the deep dive on all of this stuff. So, Saph, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me, as always. And the TLDR is don't cry, don't worry. You're okay. Your Artak is still as good as it's always going to be. He's still amazing.
Still worth investing in, I think, is the point, right? Is like
yes.
Anyone who's already invested, don't worry.
Yes.
Don't worry. Yeah.
It's the TLDR because I've seen so many people go, oh, I've booked him. What am I going to do? Don't worry. He's still going to be really, really strong.
Crazy good.
Still good.
Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. I've been Hell Hades. This is Saph. See you later.